Thank you, Mike. Well, yesterday, fitness chef Jen Aracali joined us with hard-boiled egg recipes in case you still have some in your fridge from Easter. See what Jen made that wasn't a deviled egg at OmahaMorningBlend.com.
All right, things are finally starting to turn green and bloom.
Yeah, I've noticed a few flowers sprouting at our place. I mean, most people call them dandelions, so I'm going to get out and
Did you
take
take
care
that
of those.
one or what?
No, but we've got several of those in the yard. That's great.
But no weeds at the beautifully manicured Lauritzen Gardens. Welcome back, Mia Jenkins.
Nice to
Good
see you.
Nice to see you as well.
No dandelions at Lauritzen?
Not yet.
Kill those things right away, though, don't you?
We have a lot of acreage to cover, so we try to get them as soon as we can.
Okay, you got a few things going on. A tremendous celebration planned this weekend for, what is it, for Arbor Day?
Yes, Friday is Arbor Day, so we'll do a couple of ceremonial tree plantings as usual, adding a couple of new varieties to our landscape. And then Saturday we do an educational event from 9 to noon, and we give free trees away to the public and do a lot of different activities with the family. Some little tree hikes where you can learn about the diversity of trees and see the trees that grow at Lauritzen Gardens, because if they'll grow at our garden, they'll grow in your yard as well.
And we have a couple of pictures of some of these was just the blue skies, but it's been so long since we've seen things in bloom.
Yes, it's starting to really color up this week, especially with the higher temperatures that we've had.
What is this tree?
So that's a red bud tree. And so those are just starting. That's one of the pink varieties. We also have the white, the white red buds as well. That's a Sargent cherry tree that's blooming now. It was planted for our Arbor Day celebration in 2012 in honor of the centennial celebration of the Japanese and United States gift of trees, the cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C.
Of course.
And so those are starting to bloom, and they have thrived. There are a few varieties of cherry that will thrive in Nebraska. That is one of them.
That's
so
cool.
For Tremendous, you're giving away some trees, some little trees?
Yeah, we have some serviceberry seedlings, and they really are small seedlings, but I think those are the fun ones to plant with your kids and or with your family or at home. And then as you live in your home and build a life, you see the tree grow. And I think
as your kiddos grow, so does the tree.
I just think there's something really marvelous about that.
I do too.
And so we like to pass that along to the public as well. And kids can decorate little tree cookies and learn how to tell the age of a tree and do some other really fun, bark and leaf rubbings and some fun activities. And it's just included with admission to the garden this Saturday.
Let's fast forward a bit into May and an event happening then that's free.
Yes,
okay.
that's a rare word at the garden.
I know, that's why I hesitated.
So shout it out loud. But it's National Public Gardens Day. I was telling Mike, they have a holiday for everything, including the public garden. And it's a day that we really celebrate what we kind of bring to the table and what public gardens do all across the country, which is educate, showcase 4 seasonal horticultural displays, and then also work to conserve plants that are endangered, because there are plants just like animals that are endangered. And so we showcase everything that we do, but allow the public to come in and see it for free on that day.
Great.
And I know a lot of people come to that event because it is free. Any recommendations or tips? I know it starts at 9 o'clock.
I always think, especially not knowing what the weather would be like, coming early is always nice because the weather's a little bit cooler. We will offer our tram service for $3, which gives you a narrated tour of the garden for about 50 minutes. And so if you've never been, it's a good way to cover a lot of ground and to learn about the history and offerings at the garden.
50 minutes. So how big is the property?
It's 100 acres. So it's, it can take a while to walk, and but you can always pick and choose what you see as well. And so there are some highlights for most visitors, like the Victorian Garden and the Rose Garden and the garden in the Glen. And so a lot of people will just hit their favorites, or they'll go to the Model Railroad Garden if they have children. But some people, take the time and just kind of explore, because there's just a certain peace about being in the garden and having the, the soft breeze in your face and kind of just relaxing and being in nature.
The smells.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get some nice smells in there. What's in bloom? Speaking of smells, I mean, anything? I mean, I know it took a little bit longer for things to come out this year.
Yeah, it's been a little bit slower, but with this last week, we've really seen things start. I call them spring treasures, little things like Linton Rose, and when the daffodils start, some of those smaller bulbs like summer snowflake and things. But the first tulips are just now starting to bloom, and we have like 20,000 tulip bulbs, which will be blooming in the next couple of weeks.
And there's an iris that I'd never seen before, but I know you brought a picture of. What's the story with it?
Those are miniature irises, and they are like kind of following crocus, one of the first things to bloom in our English perennial border
they'll get
each
taller
year.
Than that.
No, they're miniature, and they're just
the dwarf part
of it. They are dainty.
That's precious
and elegant, and yes, those are the things that I like to find. I come across and I'm like, well, what is this? This is so cute.
How cool.
Just one of those little miracles of nature.
And maybe you could discover it on May 9th. That's the free day. This weekend, there's a small admission to get in, but a lot happening in honor of Arbor Day. Lauritzen Gardens at 100 Bancroft Street, and online at lauritzengardens.org.
And the mums, when are we going to see the mums?
The mums will be in the fall.
Good. Okay, so we got a little time to wait.
October.
Run and joke.
Yes.
And the chrysanthemums, too.
They'll be in bloom.
Many varieties of both.
Yes.
Thanks, Mia.
No problem.
Appreciate it. All right, maybe this could be a myth, but it's said we have as many as 70,000 thoughts each day.
Wow, you won't need to spend too much brain power on what to gift this Mother's Day. Our next guest is taking care of that.